Welcome to Mirror Domains, and this is my Sunday stream, Barbie Oppenheimer review Sunday stream, right here, guys. Barbenheimer. It has come, and here we are. We are going to be doing our full reviews for Barbie and Oppenheimer here today. So, which one did I like better? Guys, I don't know. That's a tough question. They both are different types of films. They both have their admirable qualities, but I think overall Oppenheimer, I was going to say culturally, out of the two, are going to have some staying power. But Barbie has some really interesting stuff to say, man. It does, and it's going to have a cultural impact, more with not genre fans, but more with certain demographics. Yeah, there we go. Oppenheimer is going to be more for like the people that look after the award stuff and like that. Christopher Nolan knocks it out of the park. So we'll get into those reviews today, but we start off today's show by taking a quick little glance at the box office results. Oh my god. Barbie, 155 million opening weekend. That is absolutely stunning. It's jaw-dropping. Of course, tomorrow on the Movie News Show, we'll be going through the numbers in a little bit more of a critical examination. But that's not what I was predicting. I was predicting around 70, 80 million. Oh, 155 million. You just blew Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning out of the water. Anything is going to blow Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny out of the water. Smoked it just completely. And so did Oppenheimer, actually. Oppenheimer beat Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Like, I'm talking about like their opening day weekends. Just Barbie has got to be happy with, like super happy with. Mattel, remember we went into this weekend and Mattel's like, well, we got a whole bunch of other properties too that we want to make. It's going to be we're going into the new phase of the Mattel Cinematic Universe, and Barbie kicks us off in that. Hopefully they can follow suit with the Masters of the Universe movie, because if they can pull the same magic that they did with Barbie, Masters of the Universe is, oh god, it's got to be up there too, right? So Barbie, with that budget of 145 million, 155 million domestically just for its opening weekend, for a worldwide total of 337. That is a box office smash success for Barbie, and I cannot be happier for it. It's just like, Margot Robbie produced this as well. Greta Gerwig directed this. My criticism about it was just maybe a little touch too long, but we'll talk about that in my review. Barbie, wow, just like jaw-dropping. 155 million. They have to be happy with that. They have to be happy with that. And I thought Oppenheimer was going to fight Mission Impossible for the third spot, but Mission Impossible dropping down to the fourth spot. Sound of Freedom hanging in there. Now this may get adjusted because it's only 500,000 separating them, or 600,000. Sound of Freedom's, yeah, it's got that staying power, but it's only got that genre. The demographic of being in the States right now. So huge success for that film as well. It's the big blockbusters where people have gone out and spent hundreds and hundreds of millions. Like Indiana Jones was close to 300 million budget. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. But that one's deserved. That one earned it. And I think overall, in the end, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning will be profitable. It's just, like, you look at that Barbie number, and that's on pace. That's on track to make $1 billion. Barbie, $1 billion film. I hope it does. I hope it can crack it, because next week you got some horror movies opening up, and they're not going to open up to, like, let's say Barbie gets chopped in half, 70 million. Talk to me, Haunted Mansion. They're not going to make $70 million. They're not. So it'll go Barbie, probably Haunted Mansion, or I'm hoping it's Talk to Me. Barbie, Talk to Me, Haunted Mansion. No, Barbie, Talk to Me, Oppenheimer, Haunted Mansion, then Sound of Freedom. Like, Mission Impossible will be out of the top 5 in its third week. Wow. Oppenheimer, of course, really good success there. I was worried that the theaters would suffer a little bit with its 3 hour run times, because it's just going to show it as many times. But people were going out to see it in droves, man. And my theater was packed. And the sound design of this movie is just phenomenal. It was a breathtaking experience. Whoops. Sorry, my bad. Oppenheimer was a breathtaking experience, and it's definitely worth talking about. So let's get into some reviews here, guys. Let's get into some reviews. Okay. Oh. Now, do I need a trailer for Oppenheimer? We're going to do Oppenheimer first, because I think people may get confused with my Barbie trailer, or sorry, my Barbie review, and I don't want that to happen. But it's going to be delicate to get through, because I want to pull up that, and I want to pull up this. I want to pull up that. Okay, Oppenheimer. Let's get into this. And if there's anybody in the live chat, by all means, you're welcome to interact. I'll pull up the live chat things here on the side if you want to let me know what you thought about these movies. And these reviews will be cut out and put up on the side later on. Okay. All right. Let's wet the whistle, and we'll get into some Barbenheimer. Ready, guys? Oppenheimer opened this weekend, guys, and did you go out and see it? Oppenheimer is directed by Christopher Nolan and stars Cillian Murphy and a huge cast with Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Alden Ehrenreich, Jason Clarke. Oh, you're going to hate Jason Clarke in this movie. And just a whole bunch of other people that show up. You're just like, wow, I didn't know that they were in this movie. Kenneth Branagh. And it's an experience that you have to see on the big screen, I would say. The sound design for Oppenheimer is key. Your theater seat will shake, literally, while you're watching Oppenheimer. It's like when this thing goes off. But it's just not that. Nolan infuses like his thought process of like what this bomb will do and stuff like that. So every now and then we get like flashes of like the world blowing up and stuff like that, and it's just like it's just infused in this movie, and that dread of like, oh my god, what did I just do? I just handed humanity the ability to like destroy itself, and it weighs in on Oppenheimer, and Cillian Murphy executes that absolutely brilliantly as our main character in this movie. Were you thinking that he should, yes, be nominated for this performance? Robert Downey Jr. also really good in this, and this movie does a good job of putting in like black and white sequences to show transitions between like flashbacks and stuff. So it's not a full linear film. This is what they call a non-linear film. So it's kind of like it's told in chunks and stuff like that. But like the pacing of it, it moves well when you are invested. My main criticism, my straight out of the theater reaction, I said this: it felt a little muddled to begin with. because you got all these storylines going around. They're trying to establish things to pay off later on, and it takes a little bit of time for all of that stuff to come around. But Christopher Nolan brings it around, and you're like, oh, that's why we needed to have that scene there. But when it does, this movie just moves like that, and it's like, wow. This is an extremely well-crafted film. The acting in it, as I said, is like top drawer, man. I just acting, being on set with the other actors, it just must have been like an absolute pleasure. Florence Pugh is in this as well. But yeah, Cillian Murphy is the standout, and like they wrestle with the morality of it all, and they do something cool in this too, where they sort of break the fourth wall in like he's being harassed about like his security clearance and stuff like that because of his political ties and stuff like that, and there's points in it where it's like, is anybody ever gonna ever know the truth of what actually happened here? And that's like Christopher Nolan going wink, wink, right, at us, because he's trying to tell us what really happened here, right? And it's a phenomenal theatrical experience. I saw it in an AVX theater. I wanted to go to the IMAX, but it was booked. I wasn't one of those people that went into the IMAX theater and had technical issues. I've been hearing reports of that, but we'll talk about that on our movie news show that we do on a daily basis there on the weekdays. We'll talk about that kind of stuff. But you just come out of this and you're like, wow, man, that's a theatrical experience, because Universal, they got to be happy with this. It did extremely well at the weekend's box office. It made like 80 million, and Emily Blunt in this too plays the wife, and she's got her own issues there, and it's just so well crafted. Like the smallest little scene that they do, the smallest little thing, and you're like, they spent time developing this scene, how they should be and stuff like that. It's just that craftsmanship pays off. Like, I came out of the theater and I was like, Matt Damon always looked like he was uncomfortable in his uniform here. Was it too tight? Was it a conscious choice of things? But it's like that kind of craftsmanship that pays off in Oppenheimer. And I think this one is hopefully going to have the staying power to get some awards consideration, at least on the technical levels as well. Jack Quaid is in this. Josh Hartnett, I said in my initial reaction, because it's just like the surrounding cast in this it's breathtaking. I'm overusing that word, I feel, but it's kind of like it's warranted. It's totally warranted. Let's see if we can give some nods to some other actors in here as well. And as Jason Clarke, he plays like an interrogator kind of thing, and you are going to hate him. He does such a good job at it. It's just like, he's the kind of guy that you're like, you don't trust that guy. You know what he's up to. He's a dirty kind of thing, like a dirty birdie or whatever they call him. And then, the small cameos that'll show up in this movie, like the president who plays the president, and this will be like, wow, wasn't expecting that. But of course, when that actor shows up, you'll be like, he's top tier. He's worked with Nolan before, and he delivers just a small little scene. That guy's a chameleon. That's what this movie has, and it's just infused with it all. Now, some of the criticisms. What would I say is the criticism in this? Did it have to be 3 hours? I would say maybe there's just a few things that could be cut out, but I would say no. This is a movie that's worthy of that 3 hour mark. It totally is. Because there's things that happen in it where it's like, oh, okay, now the bomb's gone off. What's left to tell? But what you're like, oh, I don't want to. We still got some time. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. You're not going to be like looking at your watch, because once you realize what the actors are doing and what they're bringing to the table, they just suck you in, they draw you in. You're just like, I'm invested in this scene. I want to see where this is going and how this is going to be all playing out. It's Oppenheimer. It's just like, wow. It's got to be up there as Christopher Nolan's best, one of his best up there. For me, still Inception is just a masterpiece. This has probably got to be up there in the top 3 though, man. For like Inception, maybe Prestige, and this. I know a lot of people like Interstellar as well, man, but just like looking at the tomato meter, 94 by the critics, 94 by the audience. This is just, it's a well-deserved 80 million domestically for its opening weekend, 174 worldwide. When this had a smaller budget, well, smaller, $100 million budget, if you call that small. But it's totally worth looking at, guys. I can't give this movie enough praise. It's going to be in the top 10 of the year for me, for sure. So far, it's the front runner for the best show of probably July. And I know that's tough to say because it's Barbenheimer weekend. Barbie just came out, and that also was really, really good. So let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews and see if we agree with them. Let's take a look at, I haven't read any of these, so let's go take a look at digital trends. Not since The Master, perhaps, has a filmmaker used the large gauge to such intimate effect, making a vast canvas from one man's troubled features. Or, well, yeah. Cillian Murphy here, too. It's cool because they talk about physics and stuff like that. They don't bore you with all that stuff. It's like the moral implications of it all. He has some really cool scenes with Einstein in this, too. It's just, I want to see it again, almost. It's just like, that's how well crafted it is. Let's take a look at some other ones here. I want to take a look at a negative one and see if we agree with that. That's what I want to do. I want to see if we can find a negative one. Observer UK says, for the most part, the film is a towering achievement. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Oppenheimer delivers, and it's part of a double feature like Barbenheimer. The hype was real, man. The hype was real. The movie buff says, led by a towering and career best performance by Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer stands tall as Christopher Nolan's most terrifying yet beautiful work. Terrifying is a good word to describe too. Like, as I said, there's a good relationship dynamic there between the wife and Oppenheimer, that Emily Blunt and him just, they take each other's scenes and just like they elevate it, and there's like a silent communication between them. Like, they can tell what they're thinking just looking at each other. Like, is it time yet? Is it time? They're like, that translates to us as the audience, and that's just the craftsmanship from Nolan and the abilities of Cillian Murphy and Emily Blunt reaching out to us in the theater and saying, whoa. Yeah. Let's take a look at somebody who didn't like it. Fat guys at the movies. Never even heard of them. Bloated and overblown, Nolan shows little respect and understanding of actual science while he builds a convoluted narrative. Now, again, so that convoluted narrative, that just goes to what my initial reaction was to the movie. Remember when I came out and I said, oh, it's got all these threads coming around. It's got storylines over here and this. And it's like, okay, it's not told in the traditional sense of, like, here's our first act, here's the problem, here's the second act, and which is the bulk of the story. It's not told a little bit like that. It's told, as I said, in a non-linear kind of style, but it all sets up and works towards payoffs. And boy, those payoffs pay off big, man, especially from the acting department. And the revelations from Robert Downey Jr. too at the end is just like, Forbes didn't like it. It's the delivery that leaves me a little cold, a little dizzy, but not fun dizzy. The twists that make a film like Interstellar so powerful simply doesn't work in a true story quite effectively. I don't know about that. But as you can see, like, you can go out there and read the reviews. Like, it's rated R for, like, it has some sexual content in it as well. Some the scenes that only Christopher Nolan can direct. It's like, no, no, guys, it's not. It's not like that. It's very adult in theme for sure, but it pays off. And as you can see, I'm just like elated. I'm overjoyed. But to talk about this movie, that's how good it is, and the sound design. As I said, your theater will shake. It's just boom. And it's not just for the bomb as well. It's just the way that it's crafted and all put together. 94%, guys. I can't disagree. Like, as I said, there's like that little bit of a nuance. Like, could it have been maybe 5-10 minutes shorter? Maybe. But that doesn't, like, at the end, they might as well just keep it all together as the 3-hour movie and have all that goodness in there. Does it gloss over a little bit of some of the events, like what was it, the demon sphere, the demon ball, when they were trying to put together the uranium or whatever, and the guy had the screwdriver. That they kind of gloss over a few things like that, but overall, guys, I think I would have to agree with the critics and the audience for my score for Oppenheimer. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm giving this movie a 9.5 out of 10. That's it. Did you guys go and see Oppenheimer? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. Next up, we will be talking about that Barbie movie. It is Barbenheimer weekend, so come join us for that. If not, I'll see you next time here on Mirror Domains. Okay. So, yeah, what was it? Demon Orb. Was it Demon Core? Sorry, Demon Core. Yeah, that's what it was called, right? And then the guy who, like, when like he was using a screwdriver to balance it, and it fell off. So he put his arm in to knock it so that things didn't blow up. They kind of glossed over that a little bit, but because I was looking at it and I was like, okay, who's going to be the actor who plays that role, right? And they kind of gloss over that just a touch. Physicist Harry Daglin. Oh, it was that guy. Acute radiation syndrome. So going to the Oppenheimer cast, Harry Daglin. Let's take a look at who was in there. He was the guy that went to sort of slightly betrayed him, I guess, towards the end. But he went like in Fat Man and Little Boy, he was played by John Cusack, right? Because that's where I know it mostly from, was that movie, Fat Man, because they make the bombs, right? The Fat Man and Little Boy that they send to Japan, and they go into that stuff brilliantly too, like the whole should we or shouldn't we, which city should we drop it on, and stuff like that. Heisenberg is in this. Harry Daglin. Why am I not seeing that in the cast, guys? Maybe you should have researched this just a little bit better, James. Oh, mercy. Well, am I not reading that right? Just give it a quick little more seconds. More seconds. Oh, it does say who played the president. It was Gary Oldman. Yeah. When he shows up, I was like, he did a good job too. Yeah. Gary Oldman's one, like, he's worked with him so many times before, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, what a chameleon too. Like, he transformed into that role brilliantly. Concerned scientist is somebody. Okay, yeah. The political stuff, like him having dealings with like the Communist Party and stuff like that. I understand that it was necessary. I like to tell like a part of the story. Lewis Strauss, played by Robert Downey Jr., was good in this. Kind of like that betrayal there towards the end. That's what what I mean by they augment the story with that kind of relationship twist, where it's kind of like, well, I didn't expect them to be actually that kind of a bad guy, but Borden. David Dastmalchian is also in this. Another go-to for Christopher Nolan was in this as well. Rami Malek showing up in this was also kind of surprising. So is that guy not in this movie? Maybe I got it wrong here, guys. Maybe he wasn't even involved with that. Maybe that's why he wasn't in this movie. The quarter of shipment was the third nuclear weapon to be used in Japan. Okay. All right. Yeah, but this guy was played in Oppenheimer. I'm pretty sure that guy, because he testified against him, right? Because he wanted to make the hydrogen bomb. He wanted to make more, right? Is that? Yeah, there's the scene from Fat Man and Little Boy that I'm talking about. I thought he was, and yeah, when he put his hand in, he's like, "Okay, everybody, mark where you are with chalk," and he does calculations to figure out how much radiation he was exposed to. But in Oppenheimer, I'm not seeing it. So I'm not going to waste too much time here just scanning for this. I just wish it just jumped off the page for but I guess not. Josh Peck. Yeah, Dane DeHaan also in this too. That was cool. Dane DeHaan. Always good to see that. Matthew Modine, again, also worked with Nolan in the past. Mary Washburn. Sadie Stratton. Let's take a look at some of these names. No, I don't think it was that guy. It wasn't that guy. Anyway, I'm wasting time here, so we'll get on to our Barbie trailer, our Barbie review here, and I'll just have to look up that for my own amusement later on. Yeah, it's gonna have to happen. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to Barbie. Barbie was such a good experience too. Okay, so let's move that over to here. Move those materials over to here. Oh, Barbie is out in theaters, guys. And did you go out and see it? I did, and I gotta tell you that I like this movie. Now, I'm gonna tell you that it does have some flaws in it. It is a touch long, but Margot Robbie as Barbie, Ryan Gosling as Ken, great duo there. They had fantastic chemistry and a dynamic on the screen that pays off. Barbie, the runtime, 1 hour and 54 minutes. That was a little bit of an issue for me, but the synopsis reads, Barbie suffers a crisis that leads her to question her world and her existence. Guys, Margot Robbie is just a standout in this. She was born to play this. She is Barbie. Like, you'll come out of this and be like, yeah, she's Barbie. I had a good theatrical experience with this. I saw it in a packed theater. People were wearing pink. People came out in droves to see this movie this weekend. People like in big groups wearing pink shirts and stuff like that. Barbie had a huge opening at the box office, so a lot of people went out to see it. 155 million domestically for a worldwide total of 337 on a budget of, well, 145. So that's a fantastic opening for Barbie, and I could not be happier for this movie because, as I said in my initial reaction, Barbie, yeah, we know it's going to be sort of fun silliness in there, but then they hit you over the head with one moment in it that it's like, oh, this is going to be the heart of this movie, and it's a serious tone. But it's crafted well from Greta Gerwig, and all the other Barbies around her make sense. How it all fits together, how all the other Kens fit in there and stuff. And, I was worried that Ryan Gosling would be a little too buffoonish, but it's well explained as to why that is. Um, Ever since you saw that first teaser of her just standing there, that's pretty much the way that like the film opens, pretty much. And when you see her standing there on the big screen like that, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm in. And then of course, then they start dancing around and stuff like that. Margot Robbie put some of her own money into this as well. Um, it's just it's just a wow experience. Uh, yeah, and when they're all dancing, like the dance offs and stuff like this. July 21st, the weekend of Barbenheimer. Out of the two guys, they're both phenomenal experiences that are both worthwhile looking. I did a quick review for, well, not a quick review, but my review for Oppenheimer's up on the channel. Go check that out as well. But keeping with Barbie, it was just fun. And as I said, people were clapping and laughing all at the same time. There's a speech in this delivered by America Ferrera, where she just kind of outlines where we are culturally, and like applause in this from people in the theater, just going like, oh, they get it, they understand it, and that's phenomenal. That's what you want. You want people interacting and engaging with your film, and that's precisely what Barbie seems to do. As weird and as odd as it is saying, from like a 40-plus-year-old man, I had a fun time watching Barbie. Now, as I said, that runtime is a bit of an issue. It sort of drags on a little bit towards the end, where it's kind of like, okay, I understand, get to it already, let's wrap this up. Just a minor issue for me, because it moves fast in the beginning, right? So having a little bit drag out towards the end, kind of like, wow, it's just. But I'm not going to dock it too many points for that. But when I put out my score here in a little bit, you'll see like that. Those are some of the reasons why. It's just like, yeah, Barbie. A surprisingly good movie. And Mattel has got to be super happy with this. Mattel announced last week that they are going to be doing a lot more of their franchises. So with results like this, Barbie could be possibly on track to be $1 billion film. Could you imagine Barbie being $1 billion? It's just like not even mind-boggling. It's justified. This is a justified experience in the theater. As I said, it's got those dance numbers. Maybe it's because I saw it with my niece, but people were like, they were moving their shoulders, doing like, it's engaging. It truly is. And as I said, it's got that heart. When she, if you've seen the trailers, basically she comes out into the real world and people are reacting to her, and you would think that it would be like, oh, okay, they don't like her, they hate her, she doesn't understand what's going on, and that's this. No, it doesn't do that. Does it get fantastical and comic booky at times? Yes, but like as I said, it does have that silliness to it, but you don't care because it does have that underlying message where it's like, I'm Barbie, and then of course today's youth are like would react how you think they would react to it. And like Ken always kind of like getting stood up. It's like, all I ever wanted was to be your boyfriend. And Kate McKinnon there is weird Barbie. Because she plays a Barbie where some kid like cut off all the hair and stuff like that. it's like that. A lot of thought went into this script, oddly. A lot of thought. And for me, it paid off. Simu Liu there as another Ken that is like vying for Barbie's attentions and stuff like that. And the guy who plays Gravik in the Secret Invasion series is also in this as a Ken, and barely unrecognizable, I would say. Let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying about this. Ooh, 90% by critics, 90% by the audience. Now, I can't be that high, but people are liking it, man. People are liking this film. I went to Oppenheimer in Toronto on the weekend, and people were out in droves in pink shirts and pink shoes. they're engaging with this movie, and it's paying off. It did pay off. So, and you're going to come out of the theater like, okay. So let's go take a look at some of the criticisms and see if we agree with them there on the old tomato meter. Because there is some negativity here that we are going to have to address. There are going to be people out there that claim that they're not misogynist, that they claim that they're not anti-woke or whatever. They're going to circle the bandwagons around this, and they're going to be like hating this. Oh, you don't tell me. Oh, they actually hate men. Well, then why are you going to see this? If you got all those such strict and argent views on social, constructs, then why are you going out to see a movie about like a doll that promotes a positive female image? Right? Why are you just so you can make videos and clickbait? Right? To which I would call you a fool if that's what you're doing, because that's. It seems like there's a deep mine there to well of material, but eventually you'll realize sooner or later it's actually quite shallow. It's not deep. It's got a lot of response because it's like outrage culture. But I said it in my initial reaction. All of the social commentary stuff, you don't feel like you're being beat over the head with it. You don't. And as I said, the speech that America Ferrera gives, it was crowd rousing. It got people clapping and cheering about it. Those are the people that'll be like, oh, I don't like this stuff infused in my movie. Then why in blazes are you going out to watch it? I'm looking at you. You know who I'm talking about. But James, you can't negatively say anything about them. It's like, well, hey, it's my channel. It's my review. I can do whatever I want. Enough about that. Let's agree to take a look at some of the reviews here and see if we agree with what people are saying. Mark Commode of the Observer says it's a riotously entertaining candy-colored feminist fable that manages simultaneously to celebrate, satirize, and deconstruct its happy plastic subject. Audiences will be delighted. Mattel should be ecstatic. Yes, they should. They should, and it paves the way for a lot of more Mattel properties. I'm looking at you, Masters of the Universe. I want that translated just as well as this was. Dennis Schwartz says, protective of the Barbie image and more expansive. And here's the thing, too. I saw it with my niece, so it was kind of like she was seeing pieces of these things and saying, oh, I have that in real life. It's like, oh, cool. So like there's full of Easter eggs in here too. And when certain cameos show up, it's just like, I didn't know that they were in this movie. What are you doing, man? It's kind of like that. It's like, wow. And it's just fun, man. It's fun. So let's take a look at some other ones here who liked it. Director Greta Gerwig doesn't just seek to make an entertaining movie, but an important one. And in that regard, it succeeds. Yeah, because it's current now. It's gonna be. I don't know how well it's gonna age because it is talking about current culture for this time period. I don't know, like 50, 20 years from now, if it'll be still as relevant. Yeah, big cast. That may wane, but I mean, you thought the same thing about like Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller, but people still go back to that. So I think people will still go back to this. So I'm not going to even read this negative review because I don't even know what that has to do with Barbie. That's nonsense. So when you see stuff like that, that's what I mean by people circling the bandwagons and using any. Because I read something like that, and as soon as I get to this part, I'm like, you are going in with you already hated the movie before you saw it. I don't want to give you a second more of my time. Okay, so somebody else. After a sweet and funny first 20 minutes, which it was, the performance of Ryan Gosling as the ever clueless Ken and a grandly overstated feminist soliloquy by America Ferrera as a former Barbie mom, because hip highlights of this more silly than clever movie become hip highlights Okay, so at least he's talking about like, you know, structure, story, and stuff like that. So um, he's not attacking it, right? He's just talking about the components of the movie as somebody should. Um, Not like some like this movie doesn't have that directive. You don't feel that. You don't feel like that, like the Last Jedi, and you're not feeling like you're being beat over the head with some narrative, right? You don't feel that. It's there if you want to see it. And the people, I can't wait. I don't know. When I do watch the inevitable video that will come out from somebody, I'm looking at you, H. It'd be like, oh, I'm not a, I, it's like, then, anyway, I talked enough about that. I like Barbie. I did. So Barbie suffers from an overbloated script that's trying to tackle too much with too many stars instead of focusing on character development. The marketing was more successful than the movie. Okay, overbloated script. I acknowledge that. It got long towards the end. As I said, okay, let's wrap this up. If this was like an hour and 35 minutes, it would be, I think, even better. So that's where I'm docking the points for this. Because an hour and 54 minutes, yeah, that's too long. That's too long for a Barbie movie. Um, I think I heard maybe in the theater once somebody was saying, it's almost done. It's almost done. Like little kids were going out to see this too, right? So where would I rank Barbie? It was a fun time for me. 90% by the critics, 90 by the audience. I can't go quite that high for this movie, but I really enjoyed it. And Margot Robbie was a pleasure to watch you as Barbie. I would have to give Barbie a 7.5 out of 10. Thumbs up in my book, guys. Thumbs up. Now, if you like what you've seen, by all means, go and check out my review for Oppenheimer. We'll talk about the box office results more on our daily weekday show of movie news that we do here on the channel. So if this stuff interests you, by all means, come check us out here on Mirror Domains. Let me know your thoughts of Barbie in the comments below. And if it gets like numbers like this, well, somewhere along the lines, there's got to be a sequel coming out for this. They would have to have thoughts. Ryan Gosling dancing and singing again in the Barbie movie. It's just like, I can't believe I'm saying here that Barbie was a good movie. So there it is. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. You're watching Mirror Domains. Yeah. There's going to be the inevitable people coming out of, ooh, Barbie hates men. Barbie doesn't like men in charge. It's got such a negative message. It's like, were you not paying attention to the statements of what they were like? They acknowledged that. They acknowledged that misandry, or whatever they call it, the opposite of misogyny. They try to acknowledge all of that stuff, and that's how smart this movie is. The script wise, that's what I was talking about. It goes into all of that stuff, and then like in the beginning, when they're dancing and stuff like that, and she said, "Does anybody else think about dying in a Barbie movie?" And then you know that's going to be like the heart, the backbone of it all, and that serious tone pays off for Barbie for sure. Because it's just like it goes to a place where it's just like, yeah, I didn't expect it to go there, and it does, and I think it's worthwhile seeing in the theater for sure. And try to see go and put on a pink shirt if you got one. Go and enjoy the crowd. Be part of the ambiance. The Barbenheimer weekend, I think, was a huge, smashing success for the theatrical experience for theater movies. People are going to be talking about this for a while too. It fits, and it's got full of Easter eggs and stuff, and just a real pleasure. Just a real pleasure to watch. And it's silly too. Like, oh, my feet are flat. Oh no! just like, I don't understand. It's like, but Margot Robbie does such a great job in this too. And there's that scene that I was alluding to where she comes up to the kids uh, at the table and is like, "Oh, I'm Barbie. I hate Barbies. I don't like Barbies. I don't like what Barbie does for our feminist movement kind of thing, right?" So as I said, they acknowledge all of that stuff. They do, um, and I think they acknowledged it well. And then it sucks because what that America Ferrera speech that comes in the movie, that's what people were clapping to. Um, and yeah, she's like, I don't understand. I thought people liked me and stuff like that. It's like the way she plays it too is just phenomenal. When she's talking to the kids, right? And then there's some story in there with like it's connected, and it's like this story should not be this well crafted for how silly and ridiculous some of these scenes are. But yeah, look at her. She glows. She pops off the screen, and it's for that reason. Like Margot Robbie is a phenomenal talent, huge star. My God, I'm just myself get a little bit choked up thinking about that ending. Oof. And then laughing about it too. Just about the anatomical features of the dolls and stuff. It's just, guys, Barbie is totally worthwhile seeing. Um, I don't want my smile taken away thinking about all the videos. Like, I know people are going to be posting videos of, like, yeah, like, ooh, the filmmakers hate men. It's like, were you not watching the? Did you not watch the movie? And if you felt so strongly about that, where if they even talk about like, are you if they're going to be talking about feminist stuff, and you are opposed to any kind of feminist talk in your art, like you don't want to hear it, and you like the trailers gave it pretty clear that they're going to be talking about that kind of stuff. Why are you going to see this? And don't tell me that you don't tell me what to do. Oh, it's my channel. I can tell you what to do. I can tell them. It's just like you don't tell me what to do. Um, it's I know that seems like hypocritical or like paradoxical, but it's kind of like if you hate something so much and you know what you hate is going to be infused in this movie, for me, it doesn't make logical sense as to why you would go out and see it, right? It almost seems absurd that you would go out and see it. Yeah, if that's your views. All right, let's take some live comments here from Chris Schober. They just released the official trailer for Daryl Dixon. Yeah, I saw the thumbnail for it. I didn't watch it because I haven't watched Walking Dead since like what season 8. I think I got like 2 or 3 episodes into season 8, and I was like, no, I'm out. I tap out. I'm done. I'm done. It's the storytelling of The Walking Dead that killed it. Uh, on top of the characters being killed, because you're watching characters that you care about, that you build up relationships with for like years, and then you watch them brutally get killed. That doesn't seem like entertainment that like I want to watch. The storytelling wise, what I'm saying is like from Gimple and stuff like that. Um, Here's a whole episode of people walking from one part of the road to the other part of the road. That's your entire episode. You're dragging it out. Stop dragging it out and give us the meat of what this story is. It got too much like that, where I felt like I wanted to sit down with like, oh, I should have put that on for my Barbie. That's a pink one. Oh well. Oh no, that's pink. I should have done that for Barbie. Damn. Oh well. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll try to remember that tomorrow. But yes, the storytelling undid it. It totally did. So what we can do, as I suppose, we can go over to the Twitterverse and see what's going on out there. Yeah, it's a little bit hot today, guys. My bad. Greta Gerwig and Ryan Gosling on Barbie. Oppenheimer has already made 174 million world the worldwide box office on a $100 million budget. Oh God, when that bomb goes off, and you're like, you're sitting in the theater and you see the explosion, and you're just like, well, where's the boom? You thought you should hear hellfire, but it's like Nolan just wanted you to see the visage. But then when the boom kicks in, oh my God, it's just like, and it's worthwhile. It is worthwhile. All right. Barbie has already grossed 337. If Barbie is a billion, I hope Barbie makes a billion. And then all the people that will be like the haters will be like, hopefully, yeah. You're fighting against a machine that you're fighting a battle that battle to hate on Barbie is not. I would say it's not a worthwhile battle to fight. Just embrace it, or if you're not interested in it, don't go see it. There you go. More Greta Gerwig stuff. A sex scene that only Christopher Nolan can direct. What was that kind of quote? Who would say that? God, Margot Robbie, hands down, is by far one of the most beautifulest women on this planet. And they acknowledge that too in the movie. It's like Helen Mirren narrates, and it's like, a note to the filmmaker, saying this about Greta, we find it ironic that we're saying this about Margot Robbie. It's like they break the fourth wall, like they acknowledge all that stuff. Ryan Gosling's cover of Push from Matchbox 20. Yeah, that was fun too. It's like 2 hours later, he's still playing the same song. Oh, man. But it was cool to see that Ryan Gosling was embracing like his past of like singing and dancing. That was cool. I thought that was applaudable for sure. Margot Robbie and Ariana Greenblatt. Happy birthday to Selena Gomez. Was it her birthday yesterday? I missed it. Bummer. Well, I was out of town doing stuff. Oppenheimer has scored $33 million on Friday, the biggest opening day for an R-rated film since John Wick Chapter 4. God, Cillian Murphy did such a fantastic job. I hope it gets nominated. Michael Cera there in Barbie too as Alan. I think this is probably the best I've seen Michael Cera in a while. Like the discontinued Alan doll. It's like, there he is. Discontinued Margaret doll and stuff like that. So it's worthwhile. All right, guys. That's my Sunday stream. As you know, we'll go through a lot more of the movie news titles tomorrow and stuff. Movie news headlines and stuff. Talk to Me opens up next week. This is the one I'm looking forward to. With like the demon hand. Looking forward to that. All right, guys, that's it for me. Hit that thumbs up button. Let me know what you thought about some of these movies in the comments below. These will be chopped out and put up separately later on. And I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains.